What's up, everybody? Welcome to Trivela Hour number six. And I guess, nobody really thought we would make it up till this point. I personally thought we would kind of flame out after the first episode itself. So this is a pretty big accomplishment. I think we have some exciting news to share. From last week's episode, Jorge did a really good job, and it was awesome having him on. So we have brought him on kind of like in full time, like whenever he can make it. It would be great to have him. So yeah, we're joined by Jorge, Vedant, and Steezy today. How are you guys doing? I guess I'll ask Vedant first. What's up, man? What's new? How's your week?
My week was pretty busy. Like after the holidays, work started in full flow, and I hope that weekend would be better. Like Real Madrid would win against Girona at least. But the match was so shitty. I need painkillers now before I go to
Yeah, man. It
sleep.
happens. It happens. Stacey, what about you? How are you doing?
Doing great, bro. Just dealing with midterms right now. So yeah, life's a bit shit right now.
Yeah, man. It's a fucking depressing start to this podcast. I need painkillers. I have midterms, painkillers and midterms. Yeah, man. So, Jorge, how are you doing, man? Hopefully it's positive to kind of change the theme a bit.
Yeah, all good. I mean, I was mad when the game ended, but I'm a grown up, so I just get mad for 5 minutes and I don't spend the whole of my fucking week miserable like the rest of the people on the server. So yeah, now all good.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, that's good to hear. I haven't even checked the server yet, but I'm just assuming it's like 50%, Carlo out,
It,
20%
it
Ben's
was
out.
it was rude being like a Karen. Then there was like a guy. Then there was a guy called Stick, and then there was like this guy that was saying he wasn't gonna speak for a week after the game.
All right,
Dude, that was so fucking funny. Yeah.
I guess that's warranted because we drew a game. That's the end of the world apparently. But yeah, we have a good amount of stuff to talk about. So let's just start off with the Girona match itself. I feel like this has been kind of a theme this year where we just get stuck in the mud. To be completely honest, I did not watch this game. Overslept because I've been grinding out Call of Duty and RuneScape the last few days. So I'm gonna let Jorge kick this one off. What did you see in the game and like just general game summary here?
I think, well, first of all, we played like shit. I think to me only like I don't know. Camavinga was good the first half. The second half he was shit. He was subbed out in the 16th minute, 60 minutes, sorry. And yeah, I mean the whole team was shit. Like they looked tired. There was no effort. They started to play to pressure their defense in the first half. In the second half, they looked hella tired. The first goal arrived with a cross from very good play from Fede. Vini finished, and after that, well, the pen, which I think was bullshit, happened. Then I think the Rodrigo goal was actually a good call. But yeah, I mean, it was a shit show pretty much with a fucking made up pen by the ref, in my opinion.
And Tony Cruz got his first red card of his professional
Oh
career.
yeah,
That was
definitely.
really interesting.
What happened there? Anyone who watched the game, why did he get a red card?
He like got frustrated during the game, and so he got two yellows basically. So the first yellow he got after clipping a player, like he almost judo kicked a player halfway through the game. Like a player was chasing the ball and he almost kicked the player and cut him in half. So that is a warranted yellow card. The second time he clipped a player from behind and got a second yellow. So it was clearly frustration. Like he was getting bored and the ref's calls were going against us. So he got frustrated and just went through a player and got a second yellow and got booked for that.
Yep,
Interesting. Okay.
pretty much.
I think the larger talking point here is that I guess like we've seen this throughout like whatever the ever since I would say Romalmo and Bale kind of went on their decline, and I mean Romalmo left, Bale went on his decline. We've struggled a lot more against these parked buses, and I think part of it is because we are playing like we make the game hard on ourselves. If you don't have like a true center forward in the game, especially like a athletically dominant one, like a leader, like leader himself, um, it's going to be a lot harder to break that box down because you have to make 500 passes to be able to find one cutback, like that Vinny goal, for example, right? Like you have to make
Yep.
so many key passes. Whereas if you have what I mean, Barca have Lewandowski, who's like the best aerial presence in the game, or like one of the best aerial presences. But like if you do have that profile of a striker, you can just ping crosses and just keep doing that. It's not beautiful, but like eventually it's gonna work and your forward's gonna get onto something. Steezy, I guess I want to ask you and start with you on this one. How critical is it to you that we do buy a backup striker, and what are your thoughts now about the Rodrigo backup striker type situation? What are you thinking there?
Uh, I felt like we were like handling the whole Benzema being injured situation pretty good up until now. I'm not really sure what's going on, but like you said, I think we do need like an aerially dominant striker. Clearly, Rodrigo's not that. He's only like 5'9", so like you said, we have to do like a bunch of build up passes to get into the box in the first place to be able to score a goal. So like I feel like right now, like in moments like this, it's like when we're kind of like missing like getting a backup striker like Dzeko, who was probably like available over the summer, which was probably wasn't like a realistic option, but like a lot of people wanted him because he's like 35. He would probably be willing to accept like a 1 year contract, and he's really like he has a lot of like aerial prowess. But yeah, like you said, I feel like right now we are currently missing like a backup striker for those kinds of situations when we play teams that like to shut themselves off in the box once they reach the second half or once they score a goal. So yeah, we're having it a bit rough right now, and Rodrigo isn't really cutting it for us at the moment.
Yeah, it's a tricky situation, I feel like, because again, the backup striker spot at Real Madrid is can be in any given season like 5 matches. Because last year Ben's had pretty good health, and I don't even remember how many matches Jovic and Mariano and who else played backup striker. I think Hazard might have played like a few games of backup striker last season as well. But like regardless, it was so few in between. Um, Jorge, knowing that like there isn't that much, playing time for a backup striker, how do you think the best strategy is to get one? Like it's gonna take some convincing, maybe some big wages. What are your thoughts on that?
Um, I I just think we need like not a big name and just a guy who can fill the role. To be honest, names don't come up to me at this moment, but I mean, Seco was a good choice. Who else? Well, we were
Cavani.
after Gabriel Jesus. Say what?
Cavani.
Oh, Cavani. Yeah, I mean, just a
No,
dude that just a dude that you can put on the fucking box and send crosses to, because that's what we clearly lack today. Like, I think Rodrigo is a good backup to Benzema. I mean, he's not a center forward, but he does a decent job. But dude, he was getting bodied today by their defense. Bodied. They sent a cross and he fucking tumbled to the ground because he could do nothing. So I think more than just names, we just need like a rental for some dude who can be on the box and get some crosses. So like I say, some names don't come up to me at the moment, but I think that at the World Cup, someone will come up, and if he's decent enough and he feels the role, I mean, to me, we should at least make an attempt to sign this player, whatever his name will be.
I think like there's definitely going to be some market opportunities. There always will be, but Real Madrid seem hesitant to be able to go for it. So yeah, that is something to monitor. Um, I I think the hardest part there is like, can you really justify spending a transfer fee on a player that's going to play like 5 matches, 10 matches a season? I think you can for Real Madrid's perspective, but then like even then, the player also has to accept. So it's a hard situation, I guess. Um, I
Yeah.
guess. Oh, Vedant, I wanted to kick it over to you and ask you this. Other teams have found like a lot more success than we have over our history when it comes to these lower buses. Like Barcelona, for example, or City, right? Like they haven't always had aerial presences, but they find like ways to beat these types of teams. Do you think that during these matches we should start adjusting our team to be able to play like more of an attacking approach, maybe more exposed at the back? Like to give some examples of things we can do, like Alaba at left back, where he's not having the best season, but he is like going forward, supposedly a better option. Maybe not playing Chouameni and playing like uh, Fede in midfield with another attacker up top, or Camavinga in midfield, like to be a bit more of an attacking option. What are your thoughts on that? Like, do you think that there is anything tactically we can do to overcome the absence of another like true striker?
Mm, I feel that tactically there's like, a few things that can be changed. Like as you said, Alaba can be a big addition to the team. Uh, Addition of Kambinga and addition of Fede to the midfield has already been tried by Carlo, and I think another major factor is that our bench, as we have already discussed, our attacking options on the
Yep.
bench are quite light at the moment. So, like, however much we change in our midfield and however much we change in our defense, it won't matter much if our forwards are tired. Like Vinicius has played every single game so far this season. How much more are we going to make him play? And how much will it change if we change our midfield and defense? Our attack is fucking tired and has played 50 games a season. So there has to be a change there too, I feel. And it won't help. Like if we talk about Barca, we talk about City. These teams are fucking insane depth in their bench attacking options. Like they have Bernardo Silva and Kevin De Bruyne and everybody else who can like change their positions as needed. We do not have that option. So I think that plays a major part. And it's not just the tactics.
Yeah, I think those are all good points. I'm gonna bring this back to discussion a bit, but I mean, I think there's a lot of bricks in our server who don't really appreciate the quality and attack that like a team like City has, and especially the depth, right? Like people are like, "Oh, Jack Grealish overpriced, he fucking sucks." Like, go watch that dude play. That's their backup left wing,
Yeah.
and he can take
Yeah.
on any defender in the Premier League. Like this dude is a dribbling machine, whereas our backup winger is like Marco Asensio, who I like, who's been having a good year for what he is, and
Yep.
that dude could not take on a player for his life. Our team is basically give the ball to Vinny and watch him dribble, like when Benzema isn't there,
Yep.
and that's just not going to be sustainable. Jorge, I see you have like some thoughts on this. I'll bring it back to you. What do you think about like that entire depth discussion, and do you think that we should maybe even prioritize getting another winger who can break down these boxes with his dribbling?
Dude, shit. I, I mean, what's our bench right now? Right now, Hazard, Asensio, Lucas Vasquez, Mariano. That's our bench options. Which are Liverpool bench options? Harvey Elliott, Firmino, um, who else? What's the other fucking guy? I mean, Luis Diaz is injured right now, but he's fucking good. So he comes with the bench some games. Sorry. City has Grealish, Bernardo, Mares. I mean, how the fuck can we compete with that? Even Bayern has really good options on the bench, so I don't know who can we sign. There's some probably like a few Spanish frauds on some fucking mid-table, upper-table Liga teams that we could use, but dude, I don't know. But right now, our depth is fucking garbage, in my opinion, and I think you share that opinion as well.
Yeah, yeah, I do. And funnily enough, there is one name that is he wants to leave his club, prolific striker in the past. I think it might be Romalmo time, guys. It's it's trending that way. I mean,
I mean, dude, we're down bad, so fuck it. Why not?
he checks all
Have
the
you guys
boxes.
have you
Go
guys
ahead.
heard of Amin Jouiri from he plays for Nice?
Yeah,
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
he's good.
I feel like
He's
he's
good.
like exactly what you described, George and Zoe, like someone that can dribble and break into the boxes and plays through the wing and also striker. He plays on the right too, so you already know we're like sluts for players that play on the right wing. think he could be a good addition. He's a little bit raw still, but he's putting up some pretty decent stats, and I feel like he might break out this season or the next.
I agree, but can I say one thing?
Sure.
What did you just called me? You just called me George, dude.
Jorge.
You said George for Oh, okay, okay. I'm just joking with you.
My bad, Jorge, bro.
Bro,
Sorry.
how are you about to let like the how did you let the two Indian guys get the pronunciation right, but then it comes to
Bro,
steezy and
I don't know,
Yeah.
bro. I thought this was the G,
Dude,
bro.
you're Mexican. Fuck
oh man,
you. Oh, sorry.
My
what a
bad,
moment.
bro.
What a moment. But yeah, I think I honestly French names like are so fucking hard to pronounce. So I'm just gonna call him Anime Jury. Whatever the fuck his name is. He's
Anime. You
he's
just said anime.
Anime Jury. Yeah. I think
Oh, that's good.
he's a good option. I feel like he's been on our radar because there are like you see those like tier three, tier four links where it's like Real Madrid is monitoring this player. Like he appears on those every now and then. Um,
Yeah.
I think he would be a good option. I wonder what price you would have to pay. But yeah, like I think there are options to be had. It's just I don't know how much the club prioritizes it because I think our transfer business long term is completely Florentino, and that like he doesn't care about positions. Like if he sees a good young prospect, he's going to go for them. But like for the short term, I think they give a lot of the power to Carlo to be like, what do you need for your team? Like, should we get a backup striker? And I think Carlo's the one who's vetoing these moves because he's like, I'm cool with my team. I think we have everything covered and Carlo knows ball. So I guess let's just trust what they do. We have the money to make something happen if they want to, but yeah, I guess that's kind of where we're at. Um, to transition a bit, we also lost our first match of the season, snapping a 21 or 20 game undefeated streak earlier this week against Leipzig. So kind of a shit week for Real Madrid. One of the probably the worst week of the season for us so far. Um, in that game, I think we kind of saw there's a few different talking points. I guess we'll start with Real Madrid and then move to La Liga as a whole. I think we saw a lot of the problems that we saw earlier in the previous season, where if you're physical with Real Madrid, if you're good with your counter pressing, if you man mark, you're going to be able to find some success. I understand that we were rotated, but Leipzig played pretty well. Like they played some pretty good ball. I guess I'll start with you, Vedant. What did you think of the match, and what is your concern level 1 through 10 after seeing what you saw?
After that game, my concern levels are not that high because most of the players that started that day, like we were missing like six of our regular starters, and it was a game where most of our team was rested. We needed like 2 points. We still need like 2 points to top the group, and we already qualified for the Champions League while Barca was relegated to Europa. So I was not that concerned, but yeah, it's seen many times that if you take the game to Real Madrid, it's not like the days of past where if you take the game to Real Madrid, they hit you down. Now teams can play through us, and Leipzig are a good team. Like they have grown with the Red Bull brand, they have grown with the cash that they have in the European competitions, and they have shown that they are not a team to be taken lightly with the talent they have in their ranks.
Yeah, I think I think that's probably the best or hardest match we played this season, and we had a pretty rotated team. I mean, I know we played Barcelona and fucking Atleti, but like anyone who watched those matches saw that we weren't really tested for the full 90. I think Leipzig did a lot of good things tactically, and then also their players and the squad is just set up like they're kind of like I would say they play a lot like a Walmart version of Tuchel's Chelsea, like the way that they athletically press and stuff like that. Steezy, what did you think of the match? I mean, they really played well. Nkuku had a pretty good game. What are your thoughts?
So for starters, I feel like we just started off things wrong, like mentally. Um, our players didn't really look into it, especially like the defense. I feel like the defense failed Courtois. We conceded 2 goals from corner, which once again shows like that aerially our defense is not really like the greatest. Like we still have like concentration problems when it comes to defending from set pieces, and we're not very good in the air. And I feel like mentally also like the Leipzig players they had like an advantage because they have something to lose. We already like pretty much qualified ourselves um, for the next round, but they're still fighting it out with Shakhtar to qualify for the next round. So yeah, I don't know. Like I feel like we like woke up too late. Like I know that Vini scored like right before halftime, but I just feel like the second half we just woke up too late and we didn't get like a goal until like the 94th minute, I believe. And by then it was too late. Like they had already scored 3 against us. We had no time left, and it was like the last kick. So yeah, it was just really unfortunate. I don't think really anyone had like a really good game. I've seen like people like slandering Camavinga because he was like slipping the whole match and just unlucky. You know, it's like the usual group stage loss. It always happens every year. I don't think we should like think about it too hard. The media makes it look a lot worse than it actually is. I feel like they're just trying to like cause a little bit of drama since we've been in such good form and good spirits the whole season. You know, good vibes and just that. I feel like the media is trying to like bring it down and cause a little bit of clash right before like the World Cup or before like the important matches.
Yeah, I think that's fair. It's a fair read on the game. I think transitioning the conversation a little bit to Camavinga, it's been a bit of a weird start to the season to him. Like he's a very young player. Obviously, the form is going to be kind of hit or miss, and there's a lot of competition in our midfield. Jorge, what are your thoughts on Camavinga right now? And do you think that this year maybe he takes a bit of a step back? In the NFL, there's always that like for young quarterbacks, there's that sophomore slump thing. Do you think that's kind of what
Yep.
Camavinga is going through right now, or are you just like not really concerned at all?
Um, uh, I'm not really concerned because he's really young, and I actually liked what I saw from him today on the first half. Um, like I said, on the second half, he was subbed on the 16th minute. Like I think he only played 15 minutes in the second half. So yeah, I mean he's really young, so we gotta be patient. Best example is Bini, Rodrigo. This dude he's 19, I think, or 20. Camavinga.
I think 19. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's really young. He already proved us what he can do, and he has his whole career ahead of him. So yeah, we just gotta be patient with him.
Yeah, I agree. I think like Kamavinga is, you see like what he can do at his best against the team, like what he did against City, Chelsea, those teams. And
Yep.
there's no questioning his talent. Like this dude is insane. He needs to maybe figure out some consistency stuff, but like at his age, um, we see guys who are playing every week in Pedri and Gavi who are around the same age, and they make so many mistakes, like on a daily or on a match-to-match basis. But the benefit they have is they get to play every single game. So I don't think you can expect a 19-year-old kid to like come out and be cruise level consistency, like or even
Yeah.
half of that. It's going to be ups and downs. That's okay. I think the other big takeaway I had from this match and like transitioning a little bit again is the difference in quality between La Liga and some of these other leagues right now. To give some context, Leipzig shouldn't be 11th in the Bundesliga. I think they might have even risen since when we played them. But going into that match, they were the 11th best team in Germany, and they played us so much better. Even the Celtic game earlier this season was so much more entertaining, and I felt like we were actually pressured than any game we played in La Liga, bar maybe the Barca one. And I guess I'll turn to Vedant on this one. What are your thoughts on this style of play difference, right? Like the games that we play in the Champions League have been so infinitely more entertaining than any La Liga matches, and teams are actually not scared to play their football. What are your just general thoughts about this? Like, how are you feeling about La Liga in the future, Vedant?
Like seeing the quality of La Liga sometimes makes me want to rip my eyes out and makes me question my own life decisions. Why am I staying up at 12:30 a.m. at night watching these shitty games against these shitty mid-table teams, man?
Because you hate
No, but
yourself. That's why.
probably, yeah. No, but seriously, like the way some of these clubs, like some of the other leagues are playing, like I don't watch League One because no one watches League One. But other than that, the EPL is quite fascinating to watch. Like even the lower table teams there are so attacking and their setup is so good. Like the level of coaching is also pretty meh in La Liga. Like some of the coaches are so tactically inept that all they can do is just sit on the counter and wait and wait and wait and just park the bus in front of the goal. And that's not a great showing for the league overall. And that's why I feel that a league fails on the bigger stages in Champions League and in Europa League and etc. So I think that it's something for the league to think about.
Can I say something?
Yeah, go for it.
I think we're looking into it too much. Like we have to think about at the end of the day, it's like the Champions League, the competition that every kid dreams of playing. So obviously, all these teams, the small teams especially, they're gonna want to turn up. Like we saw last season, Sheriff, how like they were like what like third in like I don't even know what league they play in. I'm sorry, I think it was like Moldovan league or something. They're from like Moldova or something, but basically they like played like absolutely godly against us, and like their goalkeeper was like playing like prime Yashin. But I just think like it's not really about league quality. It's just that these small teams they're really hungry. They're like super hungry and they want to play really well against the big teams. They get excited to play against the big teams. Like in the Copa del Rey, when like these big teams they try their hardest against. I mean the small teams they try their hardest against the big teams like Ajax in 2018/19. I don't know. I just feel like it's more of a Champions League thing than like actually looking at the league qualities and stuff. I don't think we should like take it too much into consideration.
Well,
I
go
can
ahead,
I
Jorge.
talk or Viran wants to respond to that?
No, no, you can go ahead.
Okay. I want to explain what I say La Liga is poverty. Because one, the product is shit. Compared to the Premier League, the product is fucking garbage. Two, it's corrupt as fuck. Not Serie A level corrupt, but man, it's getting there because you have like one of the main media moguls of Spain owns like I don't know 49%, 51% Barcelona, some shit like that. So well, there's already a conflict of interest there. Piqué shit with Rubiales. That's I mean in a fucking serious country with a serious league, that shit wouldn't happen, and it would have much more severe repercussions. And in Spain, nothing happened. So getting back to the product of the leagues, dude, the Premier League, the organization, the marketing of the product is American sports league level, and the Americans do sports league better like no one else in the world. And the Premier League does so well in America because it's American sport league marketing level, and La Liga is fucking garbage. Now, talking about football, dude, since 20, 2018, 2018, Liverpool reached the final. 2019, Liverpool and Tottenham reached the final. 2020, it was between PSG and Bayern. 2021, City and Chelsea reached the final. 2022, Liverpool reached the final. And in that period of 5 years, which, which, which like factor from La Liga was repeating itself in the Champions League final. Real Madrid, and Real Madrid is the biggest club in the history of football in the world. The rest of them were getting trashed in. I mean, Barca ridiculous themselves in the semis, but before that, like they almost reached the first. How do you say it in English? Octavos. Round of 16.
Yeah,
Round
Yeah.
16 and quarterfinals. So, dude, I mean, I'm not saying La Liga quality of football is worse because you can see the results in head-to-head matches. La Liga, for some reason, keeps winning. But look at the coaches in the Premier League. Look at the players in the Premier League. Look at the money on TV rights on the Premier League. It's miles, miles better than La Liga. Like the real Super League right now in the world is the Premier League. And you can say I mean, if you want to contradict that, you can go ahead, but it's clear as day to me. So yeah,
Yeah, for me, it's not even the quality on the pitch. Like I could really care less about La Liga claiming Real Madrid, Barcelona, and I guess Sevilla to a lesser extent, claiming their titles and being like, look, the best clubs come from Spain. I mean, sure, if you want to do that, go for it. But the main football is like it's a fucking sport that you're supposed to enjoy, right? Like at the end of the day, like the thing that matters the most is and might be slightly a hot take, but it is about the fans and giving them a good experience. And I think La Liga is just so far behind in that because of this play style that's been implemented, where teams not only play afraid, but they play dirty. Like how many times this season, right? Like have you seen the park buses? That's almost every game. And I get it. It's the smart thing to do, whatever. But because it's hard to play Real Madrid open, play Barcelona open, and you got to do what you got to do as a club. But like,
yep,
if you go look in England yesterday, we saw Leeds for huge portions of the game take it to Liverpool in Anfield. You know, like, and Leeds is a relegation team in the Premier League. So like, there's nobody in La Liga who I think can do that consistently, and everyone's just going to sit back and counter. And then the other part is that there's so much stupid fouling. Like Vinicius gets targeted every single game, and the referees do nothing about it. They'll like give a yellow after the fourth like ankle breaking tackle on him, and they will never give a red. So like no, but they don't protect stars in the Premier League. And this was a really good point brought up on the Managing Madrid podcast. Check that out if you guys don't already. But basically, I think one of the people said that if you guys remember the Papu Gomez tackle on Fede, where it was completely dirty,
Yeah.
in the Premier League, those things they go back and they review them every single game. So like if the card isn't giving in the match and they deem it a irresponsible tackle, they will go
yeah,
give a 5 match ban like the next day. The FA will. So like again, they're just so far ahead when it comes to protecting players, the product on the pitch. Even if they aren't winning Champions Leagues like La Liga is, I just give it. It's a matter of time to me. Like eventually, the money and all of that is going to
exactly.
outweigh what we're doing here. Um, so yeah, those are my thoughts. And I guess like any final thoughts, Vedant and Steezy, you guys I guess didn't get to talk as much on this topic.
Um, well, if you look at like the structure of how like the money circulates like in the Premier League, every team is basically getting like equal winnings. And I believe we had like the opportunity to do that in the past with La Liga, but Real Madrid and Barcelona obviously they wanted to keep like the money for themselves, and they didn't want to share the money equally amongst the rest of the Liga teams. And that was like years ago, I believe. And now it's like too late to do it. Like we are probably like 20 years behind the Premier League to ever reach like the level that they are at right now. And it's like it's a pretty sad sight to see because the Premier League, like you guys said, is the Super League right now. It's the current Super League, and every other league is just so far behind. Like it's sad because look at the freaking championship. The championship, like the playoff match, they make like about as much as the Champions League winner or more, and it's just so insane how much money they're able to make because of their marketing. So yeah, it's pretty sad to see how far behind like all the other leagues have fallen.
Yeah. Spain basically wasted MSN and BBCA whatever era. Like it's all gone. Like there's no recovering at this point. There's no catching England. And also, even if there was an opportunity, I have so much skepticism about the leadership in La Liga. I don't even think they could do it. Like even if you gave them those same crop of players again, they would just make the same mistakes, and it would end up in the same exact scenario that we're in today. So yeah, this does suck, I think, for fans the most because, we love our club, and for us, we have to, like Vedant says, take painkillers to watch these matches because it's just so fucking numbing. Like, I don't know, maybe next time we need to start doing some cocaine before the matches to just be up for it. Like, it's gotten bad, man. It's gotten really, really bad. Um, but yeah, I guess that's pretty much all the match coverage we had. Before we go into Q&A, is there anything else you guys wanted to cover?
Nah, that's all in
I'm
my
not.
opinion.
I'm good.
Mhm.
Sounds good. I guess Steezy, we'll start off with you. So Steezy had posed a question in our um, the text channel, like in between the podcast, we kind of come up with some topics and stuff. So Steezy, I'll let you ask your question about the strikers.
All right, so basically, I don't know if you guys watch anime, but there's a soccer anime or football. Sorry, guys, I said the S word. That is really popular right now, and it is called Blue Lock. So basically, Blue Lock is like about Japan post World Cup 2018. They're upset that they got knocked out by Belgium, and they're basically running out of ideas on how they can win a World Cup. So they promote this really weird guy. He's like really quirky. His name's Ego Gimpachi or something like that. And basically, his whole idea is that Japan's team is too teamwork oriented, and what they need is an egotistical forward that'll become like a monster, only score goals, and that's all he'll care about. And they invest like a bunch of money in creating a facility where they take like the 300 best high school forwards and basically like pit them against each other in a Hunger Games kind of way. But basically, like
Holy shit.
the whole philosophy of this anime and the question it poses is, are like the best forwards egotistical? So I wanted to get your thoughts on that.
The search for Ronaldo, eh? Search for
Uh,
Romalmo.
who
So
wants to go
does this
first?
what is this guy's name? Ego Kenobi?
Ego Genpachi, bro.
Yo,
Ego Genpachi.
Kenobi.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
guy. So does this guy like leave games before they're finished also, like Romalmo?
No, but he asked for consent.
Oh, damn. Whoa. So he's better than
Yeah.
Romalmo
Oh.
already.
He is.
Oh shit.
Uh,
Okay.
Hey, innocent until proven guilty.
yeah.
Uh,
I
Did
answer
he
the
visit the
question.
United States?
Answer the question seriously. Do you guys think the best forwards are egotistical?
I
um,
don't think so. Like I think it really depends on the value that the player brings. So like let me give you a few examples throughout history just to kind of illustrate what I'm saying. Cristiano Ronaldo, one of the best forwards ever, and he was an egotistical player. Like, but at the same time, you look at Benzema, you look at Messi. These guys were genuinely team first. Like they would always play the open pass, they would always do all of that, and they provided insane amount of value as well. So I think
yep.
like really what it comes down to is your ability and your mentality needs to be adjusted to make the most of that ability. So like for Messi, he's this excellent passer, excellent dribbler. He can create lanes for others. If Messi, you could argue if Messi was more selfish, it would actually be at a harm to what he was able to do because of how good of a passer he was and how he could set up others. Whereas if you look at someone like Cristiano, maybe if he was a bit more team first, I mean, I think he could have been a bit more team first. But if he would have been super unselfish, his ability to finish, his ability to get onto balls might have gone to waste. So that's kind of where I stand on it, where it's like you got to play in the play style that best suits whatever gifts that you have. But yeah, I guess whoever can go next and give their
Do
take on
you
it.
guys remember? It was the first few months of Cristiano at Juve. He said some declarations that were oriented in like, "Oh, I like this team. We play more as a team." And I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up, man. Like, how dare you say that shit when the team played 9 years for you? Then you go to a fucking poverty ass league, poverty ass team, and you said, "Oh, we play more into as a team." Dude, shut the fuck up, you fucking ridiculous man. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And to answer the question, I agree with so. Uh, Messi, Benzema. I mean, Mourinho. The Mourinho words when they played the Ballon d'Or video, he said something like, "Benzema is a player that doesn't think on Ballon d'Ors because he plays for the team." So that's pretty much it, basically.
Vedant, you got anything to say?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with both of them. Like, there's a reason why false nine is a role in the team and why people like Pep Guardiola prefer strikers like that instead of proper strikers. And it depends on the type of team you're playing. Like, football is a team game for a reason and not for a singular person. So it depends. Like, certain teams play better with a singular striker, and those strikers need to be egotistical, like Zlatan, like Ronaldo, like maybe Mbappe even. But some players are just made in a different mode and they are made for the team. So we can't compare two different type of players to different play styles, and we can't say that egotistical strikers will be better than players who like to play the ball better. Yeah, we can't compare those.
I mean, even Suarez was a great passer at Barcelona, at Liverpool. Um, who else? Ronaldo. Uh, Lewandowski. I don't think he's too egotistical. Which other guy was a big striker in the last 10 years, 20 years? Yeah, I don't
Kane,
know.
Harry Kane,
Raul, Vanessa,
Harry
Kane,
Kane,
Harry Kane, yeah.
And
Harry Kane too. Harry Kane too as well, yeah.
Harry Kane, the
The
Hurricane.
last song, heard Harry Kane.
no,
Wayne
Van
Rooney,
Persie,
Wayne Rooney.
Van Persie.
He was
Wait,
a
what?
baller, man. Van
I don't
Persie,
really
yeah.
consider Wayne Rooney a striker though. I don't
Oh,
know.
he
I
was
feel
a
like
striker.
he played
100.
all over the pitch.
Yeah, yeah, true. I mean, yeah, I mean, like, Benzema's all over the pitch when he doesn't get the ball constantly, kind of like Rooney was.
Yeah, but Rooney was playing like center midfield at some point. He was playing like
Yeah, he sometimes plays as a mid, but I mean, he was a striker. Like
yeah,
his position was a striker.
yeah. I agree. So we can all agree that this ego guy is a fraud, right?
Yeah, I mean, the Japanese are fucking insane,
Hey,
pretty
hey,
much.
calm down a bit, bro. Calm down. That sounds racially motivated.
Hey, Pac, is that you, bro?
No, not at all. But I mean, they are fucking crazy. Like dude, look at the fucking animes. That motherfuckers smoke all the shit they find there.
What the fuck?
What the fuck?
Oh man. Well,
Sorry, but they are crazy.
he tripled down on
Fuck yeah, I mean, they are fucking
it. Oh man. Well, I guess transitioning a little bit. Lemur asked a really interesting question for once. Like, I think this is the first time I've seen him do that. These players are all in their primes. You have peak Isco, peak Di Maria, and peak Ozil, and try to keep the like off the pitch stuff out of it, because obviously, like any Real Madrid fan will just be like, yeah, fuck Di Maria. But like just in terms of how they were playing on the field, what who would you guys start, bench, or sell? Vedant, I'll start with you. Out of those three names,
Oh, shit. That's a tough one. And it's tough for like two players. Like I'll say Di Maria firstly, because I think he's a great player, but he is not on the same level like Prime Isco and Prime Ozil were two crazy players. And Di Maria, even though he's great, he doesn't reach to that level in my opinion. Out of the other two, I think Prime Isco was something different. Like Prime Isco on the ball, uh, made Ronaldo sit on the bench, made Bale sit on the bench. He started Champions League finals when he was at his best. He was compared to Lionel Messi. That's a huge achievement. So I think I'll start Prime Isco, bench Ozil, and sell Di Maria.
okay, okay, interesting. Steezy, how about you?
Okay, this one's really tough. I would start Ozil. I just think I'm a huge sucker for the 2011 2012 play style that we had.
yeah.
And I just think Ozil was like a monster. Even his like early Arsenal days, though his passing, his like vision and creativity was just so insane. And I really like his play style. Like so, I personally would start him. And I think this is where it gets really difficult. Di Maria and Isco, I think you could say they had very similar impacts. Um, while Di Maria was like more of like if you're like a stats person, Di Maria would be like a more pleasing player for yourself. But if you're more like of an eye test guy, Isco would be like the player for you. And this is really difficult for me. But I would probably say Isco. I just think like what he brought to our team, he stayed longer for us, and he basically took Bale out of the equation. He kind of like dismantled BBC for a while for 2 years or so, and I just think like his dribbling. This may be a hot take, but I think his dribbling was like Messi level at that time. It was pretty insane. And so I would probably bench Isco and sell Di Maria. You guys might not like it, but that's just like my personal preferences.
That's okay.
Interesting, interesting. All right, kicking it over to Jorge. What's your answer here?
I'm gonna answer like the boring way because I would start Isco, bench Di Maria, and sell Ozil. It's tough, but I'm basing my answer of what happened with coach player's tenure in the club. Isco, he was important on the 2014 Champions League. He was the starter. Oh no, he didn't start on the 2016 one, but he also entered the game and was good. He started against Juve and he started against Liverpool in the finals, and I think he was pretty good. Um, Di Maria, when Ancelotti basically created the midfielder position for him, he was absolutely insanely good. He's one of the reasons we won the Champions League that year. His game at Munich against Bayern was crazy. He fucking was all over the pitch. He was making passes. He was defending. He had a great game. I think like when you go back and look like at the big Champions League performances, his final in that game he was insane. Like at any other player level of the Champions League, and I bench him because of that. And I love Ozil, but I gotta sell him because he was really good with us, but we he had like in reality he had one good season, and one pretty mediocre season in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it's a good answer. I'm kind of closer to to Jorge myself. I guess I'll caveat this question. Like in if it was 2004 where every team in the world played a cam, I would go Ozil, Isco, Di Maria. But if we are talking about like when they actually played or like closer to modern era, I'm going to cut Di Maria or sell or not Di Maria. Sorry, I messed it up. I'm gonna sell Ozil just because I think to fit him into a modern scheme or like even like 2015, 2014 era, there's a reason why we sold him. I think the I mean, obviously the off the pitch stuff, and then like also trying to move on, whatever. But um, I think the team kind of realized that cams were slightly getting phased out. Like we had already seen the likes of like a Hazard or like players were playing like a lot of tens were playing false nine or winger roles. So I think the club kind of saw that coming. So for that reason, I'll go Ozil last. I think I would go Isco second, so bench Isco. I think the differentiator between him and peak Di Maria is that Di Maria was able to play like every single game and be like a de facto starter for the team. Isco was kind of in and out based on how do I say it, like how Bale's form was, how everyone else's form was. Again, he played on a better Real Madrid team than Di Maria did, but I think Di Maria was like unplayable at his peak. I mean, the guy was like 30 assists, like 10 goals a season type of player. And I think Isco never hit that type of volume because he just couldn't stay in the lineup as long. But so yeah, I'll go Di Maria, Isco, and then Ozil for the modern era. So yeah, two different answers there based on the time frame. But yeah, thanks Lima for that question. I think it was a pretty good one and like a tough choice all around. Moving on to our last question, Frosty asks, in your opinion, who from the server would be the most different slash not what you expected if you met them in real life? Wow. This will be an interesting answer. I'll
Who
throw
wants to
Vedant
go first?
I'll throw Vedant under the bus. Vedant can answer.
Pretty much everybody, I guess.
Oh wow, that's a politically correct answer. I want you to roast someone right now, dude. Come on.
Hmm. I guess it will be the guy who like flaunts his cards and who is talking about his girlfriends and whose dad is beating him every day to death for his marks.
Oh my god. Oh my god. We're getting canceled this episode for sure. First is Jorge's Japanese
It
remarks, and then
was
now
a nice
this.
run, lads. It was a nice run. First, we had George being racist.
George.
George, fuck you, dude. Come on, my fucking name. Uh,
No,
Bro, but
I'm mhm.
the shit that Ross sends in VIP, man. Some of these days, man. The cars that he sends and everything, bro.
Yeah, yeah. There might be a lot of cap there. Not gonna lie, but hey, maybe it's all true. I mean, maybe he's just chilling in like his I don't even fucking know what some fancy ass car, driving around wherever he lives and living the high life and getting the beating every now and then. But anyways,
Why did you do that? We're getting canceled.
but
uh,
yeah, mods are definitely canceling us after this episode. But anyways, I'll pass it to you.
go ahead, Cece. I'll answer at last.
Okay, Steezy, go ahead.
Uh, Rod, bro. I think Rod is hiding something.
You beat me to it.
I think Rod is a girl.
Roberta,
He acts
Roberta is hiding the secret.
perfect on Discord, man. Something's wrong with him. I just know it. That's why I haven't met him yet.
You beat me
I can
to
just
it.
tell by
Fuck.
the Jerry spam and the Dragon spam that something's up with that guy. He's not who we think he is.
Oh shit, you beat me to it, motherfucker.
now
So, what about you?
now
You
you
gotta
have to come
answer
up with
too.
something different.
Okay.
All right, Jorge, do you want to
Oh,
go?
you gotta answer too.
Oh, I got to answer. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I cheat a little bit, but I'm gonna name a few individuals. I think Lily,
Okay.
Rod, Mello, I don't even know, like Roche. I think they all like are like the same person. Um, I think they all share like the same brain cell posting that dragon and Jerry emotes. Like, dude, if I every time I see so like here's the, to give some context, I'll just get off work, get onto Discord to shit post or whatever, and I'll just see that dragon waving at people, and I just want to take that dragon, choke slam it like fucking CM Punk, and like fucking just kill it, dude. Like that shit pisses me off so much. The Jerry emoji is even worse, but. Thankfully, I mean, Comunicado Oficial right here, we do have some potential moderation actions coming against the emote spammers. We had a nice discussion with the mods earlier this week to kind of prevent some of that bullshit from happening. So yeah, that part is promising. Hopefully, it does change for the better. But I would say, yeah, definitely those names that I just listed. I'll pass it to you, Jorge.
Fuck, I was gonna say Rod, but now I gotta say Sari, man. I think he's actually uh uh 5 feet person with a lot of hair, and he's not actually Spanish. He probably is like he's Mexican, but his great grandparents are Spanish, and he says he's Spanish. So yeah, I gotta call it Sari, man. I think he's a fraud as well.
Damn, bro, that's a high profile. You might get banned, Jorge, for doing that. That's respect.
He's already getting banned, bro.
Dude,
Regardless.
That's
no
true.
biscuit, no biscuit.
You and Joe are getting banned, bro. It's over. That's the end of Trivela Hour.
This is the final episode. So yeah, I think that wraps everything. There's really nothing else to
Fuck.
talk about. Um, so yeah, we somehow made it 6 episodes. I don't think we're gonna make it to seven. But if we don't get banned, we will be back next week. I really do appreciate like all the sustained love. Like I mean, the viewership numbers and like and whatever has dropped a bit, but we basically on the last episode I was looking at the stats, and every single episode, including the Zocast, has gotten like 10 unique viewers. So we have like a pretty dedicated audience of people who at least check out the episode. So yeah, again, like appreciate you guys and like
And
it's been fun doing
and
it.
it's fun too. So yeah, it's fun making this. So yeah.
For sure. Yeah, it's been really fun like talking to these guys and like having someone to kind of vent to you about like how stupid some of this shit is, like Girona playing against Girona like at late night, like Vedant was
Yeah.
saying on painkillers and shit. But Yeah, that's a
Like
wrap
the
for.
dragon,
Oh yeah, that
dragon
fucking
emoji.
dragon, dude. Like I woke up, saw that we drew because Barca won yesterday, so we dropped 2 points. First thing I see is the fucking dragon, man. Like that shit is so annoying. But anyways, that's a wrap for episode 6. Thanks, Steezy, Vedant, Jorge for coming on, and thanks to all the viewers. Do you like the episode? It helps us out. So yeah, thanks everyone. Take care.
Bye. Bye.